Oh my goodness. Look what the cat brought in. If it isn't like, this is the modern day John Lennon. This is the second coming of the Beatles.
Oh, that's big.
Take that with a second Beatles.
Not our words, It was brought out when you came out that you guys were beyond what a boy band is.
Well, they're now a man band.
A man band.
A middle-aged man band.
We take that as a compliment, the boy band comment these days. We encourage it, but we are a man band for sure now. Yeah.
Gary Barlow!
Lovely.
From Take That.
Well, that was a wonderful intro. Thank you so much.
Well, you know what, Gary? When you got here from the airport, I'm sure it was a little bit different getting into a car, because I've heard that when you land at Heathrow and you go home, you crowd surf all the way home.
Yeah, we are we're very lucky, and also it's not just that that people still follow us around. Is that we started in 1990, and a lot of our audience have just followed us all the way through this, so faithful, all over the world as well. We're so happy that even after all these years, 34 years later, we're still able to go out and play tours and see people. We feel very lucky.
But now from teenagers having their posters on their walls, young girls at 16, 15, 16, 17. Now is it divorcees with 3 kids?
You've gone for the negative angle there, but I'm going to level it up. They're a little older now, but the interesting thing is whether they're divorced or not, so they bring their kids with them now, and they bring their parents with them now, which obviously they didn't do back in the day. So it's a very, very much a family environment when you come to one of our shows.
And you know what? And it is exactly that, because I find with my kids, I'm playing, when we're in the car, I'm playing my music.
Yeah.
And they love my music.
Right.
So they are now, when those bands come out, so they're coming to Take That, obviously.
Oh, that's great. Apologise now for me.
They know all the words to Back for Good.
Oh, great.
I still remember when that song came out. Oh my gosh. There was no bigger song in the world for perhaps 2 years. Hey?
Yeah, it was very special times. And I think for us, one of the things we take pleasure in is that we always include all the old music as well as some of the new music as well. We try and make sure everybody goes home happy.
Because do fans come up to you and say, Gary, just play the old stuff, man, this new stuff, I don't know about it. And then when they come to you and say that, what do you respond with?
Yeah, do you know what? We are about, I think, to get to that point. At the moment, our audience still like the new stuff.
Good.
But I know, from the older artists I know, they say, oh, it's depressing. You play the new one and everyone goes to the toilet. So I know it's coming.
It's coming.
It's fine. It's part of a career's journey, but it's just not here just yet.
Yes.
We may be about 2 months away from it.
Well, you've had record numbers of number ones, albums number ones, songs number ones. You smashed every record, like you were breaking your own records at a time. Is it different now touring than when you were crowd surfing from the airport to the stadium? Now it's perhaps a little bit more relaxed and a little bit more mature. Do you enjoy it more now? Or could you enjoy it back in the crazy times?
Yeah, the crazy times were the 90s for us. It's when it was really at its sort of hysteria peak.
Fainting teenagers.
That was us, fainting. yeah. But it was pretty full on everywhere we went. And we didn't really have much of a life outside of it. And so I think actually by the end of it, we kind of resented it a bit. It sounds ungrateful, but I think we'd done it for 6 years and it had just been absolute 150%.
All consuming.
And it was all consuming. And we all wanted a life. And so we did. We went off and we had some time. And it was about 9-10 years before we all came back together again. But one thing we didn't expect was when we got back together was that all the audience that were there to start with were still there, and they'd brought some mates with them as well. And so this second period, I would definitely tell you that we enjoy it a lot more now. And I actually think, bringing you right up to date, these shows, they're more important to us than they've ever been. It's because we feel so, most bands get 4 or 5 years and that's it. We are still here and we're so happy to be here and having a great time.
And in that time as well, as the media like to do, they always like to have a rival, so from your side across the Atlantic, it was the Backstreet Boys versus NSYNC.
Yes.
There was that rival. There was the Green Day, Offspring, NSYNC.
Yeah.
And who was your rival? Because I always used to say it was East 17.
Yeah. For the first couple of years it was. They, as we were coming out the blocks, there was a few bands actually. There was other managers trying to, because the 90s was... The 90s was a period where lots of labels would create bands and make the music and the stars. Unlike now, I feel like new artists nowadays, they make their own careers.
Yeah. Breaking through on their own, yeah.
Yeah, and labels come later. But back in the 90s, we had a whole plethora of Boyzone, Westlife. No, they were a little bit later.
Yes. They were 2000s.
Take that, E17. There was another band. Worlds Apart. All these bands.
Yeah, we never knew them. They never made it this far.
They actually the period was they realised they weren't doing very well in the UK, so they shipped them to Germany, and they lived in Germany, and it became big in Germany. It was a funny time for music.
And how seriously did you guys at that time take the media making a noise about these rivalries? Because there's the hoopla outside of the band itself. Were you paying any attention to it?
Well, I don't want to at all say that we rose above it, but we rose above it. No. The one thing that we always had that I felt we were different from other bands is that I came from a really musical background. I played my first show when I was 11. I'm not the best keyboard player, but I'm a fairly good keyboard player, musician, can read music, did all my exams. And music for me was the reason I was in this band. Yeah. It was my bit I brought to it, and because we wrote our own music, it made us different from the other groups, and I think it made the audience care about it a bit more, and that's possibly the reason they're still here with us now, is because the music's so ingrained and means so much to them. That's just my take.
I think I think it goes further than that, where you're selling yourself short. The music stands the test of time because it wasn't bubblegum pop. Most of your repertoire you can play on radio now. It doesn't stand out as, this is an old song. It's a song that could be contemporary.
Well, thank you. You sound like my mum.
So, but you started performing in clubs when you were 15.
Yes.
Right? And I also started performing in clubs when I was 15 as a DJ.
Right.
But I used to play the songs for the strippers. So I played in a strip club. That was where I started.
Wow.
Don't ask how he managed to get that gig.
Yes.
So I used to play the 3 songs for the strippers, and then I would go to school the next day.
Yes.
So that was my start. So I was wondering, was your start, where did you, at 15, where were you playing?
It was actually younger than that. I got a job in a like a bar when I was 11. So I'd been playing for like a year. But what used to happen was my dad used to bring the neighbours into my bedroom, and I'd play songs.
Play them something,
and
Gary.
At the end of the song, they'd be clapping. And my dad would say, if you can do that, you'll always have a job. And so he took me to this like a working men's club, we call them back home. Cheap beer, bingo, that sort of thing. And they put me on stage, and I was up there for 3 hours, and they said, "Oh, come back next week," and suddenly
To an 11-year-old.
yeah. So over 11, 12, 13, it got to the point I was playing Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. And so
this was a sweatshop.
this is how we did it back then. And we didn't feel any guilt. I was having a great time. I just loved playing music so much. So by the time I joined the band at 19, I'd done thousands of gigs. I had lots of experience. So I was the only one who'd done that at that point. So I could help everybody else get up to speed. You know, let's do a show. Let's put these songs in this order because that order works. There were things I came and had learnt ahead of it, and I was so glad of having those years out of the spotlight where I was starting to write, starting to learn. I didn't have any of the pressure of being in the charts and famous. It was just me with music, and they're the years I often draw back on. Things I learned from those years, they were my real learning years.
And do you get like, we always look at whatever field you're in. You look at the experienced older people who've been there and done that as your mentors.
Yeah.
Might, if you can, phone up the person and ask for a bit of advice. Do you ever get calls from the likes of the Harry Styleses, the One Directions, and the new boy bands coming up saying, "Hey, Gary, Uncle Gary, do you know what? This is happening. Could you give me some advice?"
Well, you know what? I'm going to drop a name here now just because we're amongst friends. But my mentor through the 90s was Elton John.
Wow.
And he was such an amazing friend. I talk about it a lot because, and it's not just me, he is a great light for a lot of people. He's someone who really cares about people. And he's also someone who is aware of, we're in a business where you don't explain and you don't complain. We're so lucky to do what we do. You don't talk about it unless you're amongst people who are doing it as well. And he is just a great advocate for getting artists who are struggling, artists who have problems with drink or drug. He is really someone who cares for musicians and songwriters. And he helped me a lot through that 10 years through the 90s. And so at this point, I don't have anyone who's come to me yet. But often, if we're in TV stations or we're meeting other artists, the very first thing we talk about is not music. It's usually, how's the work-home balance? How does that work?
Right.
How's your wife?
It's a bit different now.
So
Yeah.
So if you got Elton's number in your phone, like you could phone him now if you wanted.
If I had my phone on me, yes.
Really? Wow. Who else have you got on your phone?
Oh, there's a few good ones.
Hey? Some NDAs too, I'm sure.
Imagine just casually picking up the phone and phoning Sir Elton John. Now you haven't been knighted as yet with the Sir title, but you've got an OBE.
I have got an OBE.
So what comes? Is it an MBE, then an OBE, and then a knighthood?
No, there isn't. That isn't the order. They're for different things. The MBE is for I'm trying to think. It's something to do with charities.
Right. Okay.
And then the OBE, I organised a concert for the Queen's Jubilee. It was a 2-year. I mean, it was a very interesting time. It was sort of 2010. It was me with the BBC putting on a night of music for the Queen, and I had to meet her every month.
Wow.
And get things signed off, artists she wanted, where the stage was going to be. It was surreal. It was a surreal experience. But that's what I got my OBE for. And it was a great concert, by the way.
Good.
So what does that afford you? Or was it just a title? Like
You put that on the CV.
Oh, no. It gets you absolutely nothing. The keys to no city. No,
nothing at all.
No.
Not even like 10% off at Tesco's.
No, do you know what? Those awards, I believe, are for parents. My mum was so proud. She came with me. Yeah, she came with me and got all dressed up, and we went out for lunch afterwards. It's just for the mums, I think, and the dads.
And you haven't bought a soccer team yet? That seems to be the new thing.
I hear this. I'm a massive football fan, big Liverpool fan. We were at the game on Sunday at Wembley.
Oh, nice. So you saw the celebrations?
We did. We were there celebrating with our team. But no. My next thing in life is that I'm 53 now. But my next thing in life is everything smaller. So, we've got quite a big family house. Smaller. Get rid of the kids. Smaller. But also trying to fill my week with things that I just love doing and get rid of the crap I don't want to do.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Now, I read something about you. No, about you. At one point, you wanted to leave the band because you wanted to be a ufologist.
Oh no, that's Robbie.
The UFOs. Is that rubbish?
Robbie. That's Robbie.
Is that Robbie?
Yeah.
Well, they put it down to you.
Yeah. We often get blamed for things he does. No, that's Robbie, and he is so into it. If you get him on the subject, it's a long night.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to tiptoe into this one, but I saw the Robbie documentary. And then, Robbie even came out afterwards and said that they pushed him into a corner for the dialogue and the narrative of the way they wanted it to go. Like there was all this conflict.
Yeah.
Do you want to shed any light on that, or would you rather not?
Well, I mean, it's very public. I mean, I watched I watched the bits I was in the Robbie documentary. They were very good. We've had our moments in time where we weren't talking to each other, and luckily for us, we got to end the story got a happy ending because we all did a record together in 2010. We went on tour together and I speak to him most days, if I'm honest. He's one of my close. All the guys you'll meet two of them, Howard and Mark. Our band is now me, Mark, and Howard. These are the best people you're ever going to meet. They've been my brothers since 1990. I've known them for longer than I've known my wife. I mean, we're just having the best time touring around the world, singing songs and having a great time.
Yeah,
that's our life
happy
at the moment.
Because I know there's always that question in the British media. Oh, you're back on tour. Where's Robbie? Is he not?
Yeah, that used to be. It's not so much nowadays. I mean, we've been as a three-piece now for 10 years since we've done 4 tours as a three-piece. This has been the longest version of Take That, actually.
Really?
Yeah, we had 5 in the 90s for 5 years, and then we had 4 for 4 years in the noughties, Robbie for a record, and then we've been a 3 since. So.
But it's the same as Westlife. I mean, we saw Westlife. They were here in South Africa a little while ago. So they came as they were a 5, and then they were a 4, and then they toured. And now the one guy, like just today, has dropped out. So now they're back to a 3. The guy, I forget what his name is, but he's the one that looks like a young Prince William. When I see him, I see...
Is it Nicky?
Nicky.
Is it
yes.
Nicky?
Yeah, I think so.
Could be.
Blonde.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your last tour sold out like very quickly. So thank you for coming to South Africa so that we have an opportunity to
well, it's a pleasure.
to see you guys on stage. It's so exciting that you are coming to us, and obviously you've been in this business for 34 years. Is there a point where you are going to say, traveling around the world singing these songs, I've had enough. I want to just, like you said, make my life smaller and just be with my wife and live happily ever after? Or do you think you're going to do this until the day you die?
Oh, I hope so. I mean, in my heart right now, and I don't know, something's changed in the last few years for me, is that I think with what's gone on in the world in the last 5 years, I think we all value peace and quiet and sort of a place of
quiet time.
But for me, my phone's dinging donging all day long. People want this, they want that. When I go on stage every night, I put my in-ear monitors in, and I'm going to sing now for 2 hours, and I might be in a room with people going crazy, but it's going to be the most peaceful 2 hours of my day.
I hear that.
There's something like church-like about that experience of just you, audience, doing your art, expression, and it's just wonderful. Why would I not want to do that?
I love hearing it from a musician's perspective, because that's what we feel like when we go to shows, right? We are transported to another world, and it's like addictive. We want to go to another one and another one.
And we want to know that you want to be here. It's
there.
not just going through the motions, you know.
Yeah.
But it's incredible.
Definitely
And
not that.
look, you here now in way before the tour, which is October 22 here in Cape Town. But you're doing other things now. I mean, I don't know if you were aware, but your country, England, votes Cape Town as the number one city in the world for the past 7 years in a row.
Yeah.
Not London, not Manchester, not
No,
Liverpool.
Brits
Not
love-
Norwich.
We love it here. We love it here for many reasons. And I was sat with British people on the plane, and they all say the same thing: great food, sunshine, and people who actually want you to be in their country.
Yeah.
Because you've got to remember, we lived next to France. So it's beautiful for us to come here, you know. And to sleep. You just get on and sleep.
We live
Here.
next to France.
Oh, the French hate us.
Yeah.
No secret.
Okay? Not even love hate, it's a hate.
They hate it. And we love France, which is weird, you know.
Yeah. But there's that old joke that I see here in the pubs all the time when a French person walked in from the guy, you know, the guy that rocks up at the pub at 11 in the morning.
Yeah.
And he says to the French, this was like a standard thing. Yeah, you'd be talking German if it wasn't for us.
Yeah. Neighbours, I guess. Neighbours.
Yeah. So look, as you've already stated, you love it. It's not your first time here in Cape Town, is it?
No, I think I was trying to count this up yesterday. I think it's like 7 times.
How do you just slip in
I
and
can
slip
slip.
out under the radar?
slip.
Nobody knows.
7 times as substantial.
Are you
Gary.
checking in under Mickey Mouse or something? Because we know
I'm a
when you
good
guys
slipper.
arrive.
Yeah. I can be sneaky. Yeah. I can keep a low profile. My family, we love the beaches. We love, like I just said, we really love coming to a place that's full of culture and lots of things to do, hikes and safaris, and oh my goodness, we love it.
Because I saw we took the show to London the year before last, and we were out of the Virgin Radio complex, and I went to meet Graham Norton. He was doing the show, and then he said, "Yeah, I've got a house in Cape Town," and he gave me the road. He says, "I'm there every December." No one has ever seen Graham Norton in Cape Town. And he said he's had the house here for like 15 years.
Wow.
So I don't know how you guys do it.
Yeah. You got to keep your eyes peeled. Graham's one of our favourite DJs. One of our biggest DJs.
Yeah.
And of course, we know him. We go on his show all the time.
He's fantastic.
Very fantastic.
One of
guy.
the best in the
and he's
business.
got good taste. So
Well,
I'm not surprised he's here.
Well, maybe you should ring him up and say, Graham, can I
I
stay
use
at
your
your
house?
place? Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's just touch on the TV show that you're doing, but this is for ITV.
It is.
So we'll get it eventually. But you are doing, because you've got your own wine.
Yes.
They say wine brand.
Yeah.
So this is, you source wines and then put them under your label. Is that accurate?
So this is just the biggest mistake I've ever made in my life. This started in lockdown. I'm a big fan of wine.
Are you
Love
taking
wine.
Simon Sich and calling it Barlow wine?
Listen.
Oh, you made it in your
Listen,
garage,
it's
didn't you?
worse, It's worse than that. It's worse. So I had an idea, as we all did in lockdown. I've got an idea. Wouldn't it be great to have like my own wine with my name on it? We'll print like 100 up and give it to my mates for Christmas. It'd be brilliant. This. So we started this company 2 years ago. We've sold our 1,000,000th bottle just
What?
before Christmas. So we originally started with the interest of organic, affordable, sustainable wine. So we went to Spain.
Apparently, you have to use affordable now. You can't say cheap.
Affordable, yeah.
You have to say
Yes.
affordable.
That's
Yes.
right. Cheap sounds
Value for
cheap,
money.
though.
Yeah, yeah.
It does
Okay.
sound
Cheap
Yeah.
comes in a box.
because what I've tried to do with this this wine thing is to use my experience of travel to bring it to my audience, but I want them to be able to afford it. I
Yes.
don't want it just for a few people. And so we went gangbusters on that first round, and then we looked further afield and thought South Africa. Let's have a look, and we found some amazing Sauvignon Blanc here. And so we sell that, and it's now selling the Spanish wine 3-1. So we're back because we need more.
So that's why it's the worst decision you've ever made.
It's not
because
the
you're
worst decision.
doing too well.
It was the whole business was a complete mistake.
Sure.
Complete mistake.
And you just sold your millionth bottle.
So
what a
we're
good
having
mistake.
a great time doing that. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Okay, so the TV show, you are doing a whole tour of the wine farms.
Sure.
Well, what are the other elements in the TV show?
Well, there's two things because I love to travel, and like you say, us Brits, we do love South Africa. You know, I'm not quite convinced we know what good South African wine is. And so one of the messages I want to take home is that for anyone who loves wine, of course, we know what Australian wine tastes like. We know what New Zealand wine tastes like. We know what Argentinian wine tastes like. But I want you all to
The best kept secret.
Please try this.
Yeah.
Try this, and you know, ask people, talk about it. It's just never quite caught on in our country.
It's funny that you say that. When I lived in the UK, I used to work in a pub, and they had all the wines. They had the shelf: French wine, Californian, Australia, New Zealand, South African, and we were like, "Oh, South Africa, this is our wine."
We'll push this.
Nobody used to pick it.
It's experience, and it's consumers having the confidence to go, can I
try something new?
Just try. I want to try a little bit, and they'll
Agreed.
go. With a lot of people, once they try something that they like, they usually drink it forever. So it's like that's my little message I want to try and take home is, guys, this is great. Give it a chance.
Well, for the guys in Liverpool, you might want to try Tussies.
No, don't listen to him.
Go get some Tussies. It comes in a
Why have you
5-litre
singled
box.
out Liverpool?
Go get it comes in a box. It's like a 5-litre. It's got a plastic spout.
This sounds terrible.
Try that. Maybe that will land.
Okay.
Well, listen.
I won't be doing that.
Gary Barlow.
Thank you.
It's a dream come true. It's wonderful to speak to you. And the next time we see you, you'll be in your kit, jumping up on a stage at Grand Arena, Grand West,
Wow.
as we scream and shout for Take That,
Yeah.
Lovely.
22 October.
Please come as my guests, please. If you have time, please
We will
come
be
and watch
there.
us. Yeah.
And good luck for the Euro Summer. I know you
Yes.
guys are doing a run of shows that side.
Well, the thing is, we needed a few warm-up gigs before we come to South
Sure,
Africa.
sure, yeah.
So I think we've got about 80 before we get to you.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Gary Barlow!
Thank you.